When you were talking, you did talk about how you never saw yourself living in Korea, right?
Mhm,
Were you
mhm.
born here or you were not?
I was born in Seoul. Yes, I
Okay.
was born here, and but immigrated to the U.S. when I was a baby.
Okay.
So so that was like 5 months. So it's not like I actually lived here, but I was lucky. We got to come back every summer,
Oh,
because I have
wow.
my grandparents here. They're
Right.
now all deceased, but
Right.
they were here. My cousins and well, I would say my younger cousins, and then my
Mhm.
parents, my mom's cousins, my dad's siblings.
Mhm.
So extended family was here.
All of them,
So we
yeah.
were constantly visiting every summer. By the way, it's really hot here. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh,
So
God.
my impression of Korea as a child wasn't fun.
Mm.
That's why if you tell me, Jeannie, by the way, if you told me at 18, you're going to be doing a company in Seoul and living here more of the time than the US, I'd be
Yeah.
like, what? But
Why?
here I am, and I love living here
Really?
now, and hopefully I don't date myself, but I'm an empty nester. I have adult kids.
Oh.
Yeah, 4 adult kids.
How
My-
old are you?
Do you want me to say
How
my
do you?
age?
I'll
Oh
take
my
it
gosh,
out. I'll take it out. But the way you look and having adult kids makes no sense to
Thank
me.
you. Thank you. Well, Koreans, we could look
Very
we can look
true.
younger.
But I'll take it out.
But no, I'm kidding. I was gonna kind of chide you about being like, that's so Korean.
It is
to ask
extremely
your
Korean.
age.
It is very
No, I'm
Korean.
51. I'm 51.
You
So
look good for your age.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Really?
You look so good for your age.
Well, I appreciate that. When I was younger, when you're like 17,
Yeah.
everyone's like, what are you, 12? And so I hated that, right? But now I'm like, oh, thanks.
Times
look
are
30
changing.
something. Yeah.
Times are
So
changing.
no, I have adult kids. The youngest one's 18 who just went to college.
Oh my
So
goodness.
that's why I'm an empty nester. And so
yeah.
being here now, and literally we just got our visas, our
Yeah.
4 visas. It's
Wow.
surreal.
So your kids live in Korea too?
No, my kids are in the U.S.
The
They're in
States,
college in the
okay.
U.S. So we do go back like 3 times a year,
Yeah.
going back and forth.
Yeah.
But just the fact that I actually reside here more and that I really enjoy it, it's very poignant for me because,
Yeah.
like I said, growing up, I saw Korea as this distant thing,
Mhm.
right? Why are we in this foreign country?
Yeah.
I'm American. I had a very Western point of view.
Mhm.
It's not bad. It's just the way I was, I was
You're
raised in the
raised like
U.S.,
that,
but
yeah.
I had traditional Korean parents.
Mhm.
So that whole that whole duality of like, am I Korean? Am I Western? Or am I American?
American?
Who am
Yeah,
I?
yeah.
Right. You've heard this.
Mhm.
That's why today that's such a big part of my mental health and my mental health practice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did you ever figure out like where you stand? Do you see yourself? This is another question I believe you've probably been asked before. Do you stand more in Korean culture or American culture?
That's a trick question. But you know what?
Yeah.
This is a question I'd like to answer with, I want to say, why can't it be both? So I do blend both.
Mhm.
I want to say maybe my thinking's a little more Western because that's the way I was raised.
Yeah.
But with traditional Korean parents, so much of the Korean culture is ingrained in me
Yeah.
that even young Koreans, like the Gen Zs, which are actually my kids' age,
Mhm.
they're like, oh my gosh, you're a conde.
Oh my God.
No,
not
they don't mean that
girl.
meanly. When they say that, they're just
Yeah.
so surprised
Yeah.
that I'll say something. They're like, we thought you were from the U.S. I go, I am from the U.S. But that doesn't mean my thought or process or values are so U.S. driven or
Right.
American driven, like the typical, like, oh, you're so American.
Yeah.
I was raised by Korean parents that somehow that must have passed on to me. And now that
It's
I'm
the
a mom
culture.
of 4,
Yeah.
I've stayed in
4.
that-
Sorry.
Yeah.
4.
4. Did I not say that?
Jeannie moving quick out here. 4 kids.
4 kids. Yeah, my oldest
Whew.
is 25, and that she's 25 and she's getting married next year.
Well, congratulations to her.
And then I have 3 boys, 23, 21, and 18. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Jeannie said, I'm
yeah,
still
no,
young though.
I know. I feel like 31. So
Period.
again, it's how you feel. We're
Yeah,
talking about mental
that's
health.
true.
But no, I decided that I'm going to embrace both.
Mhm.
Now, there are times when I'm doing business here,
Yeah.
when I'm talking to folks here, my Western kind of thought process goes, first of all, when I'm trying to translate. So my Korean was my first language.
Right.
But when I heard you speak, your, like I said, pronunciation's really good. And I could see you're totally fluent. Now, me, it's my first language, but I didn't practice it growing up. So when you don't practice a language, it can go south. It's
Right.
being
very
here
much so.
has definitely helped, except because depending on who I'm talking to, Koreans are really smart. Their English is pretty good.
It's
So
very
sometimes they'll
good.
switch over and I'm like, okay, wait. We were just speaking Korean, but then clearly I'm Western
Yeah.
because of my Kyopo accent or whatever. Then
They
they're
sensed
like,
it, yeah.
then they change
Yeah.
to accommodate, which is in some sense very, I would say, hospitable. But then sometimes I'm like, can you just speak Korean because I want to learn and I want to practice. But the whole point of that saying is I can adapt to both, and I want to adapt to both. You know why? I feel like I have the best of both worlds. I love being Korean American. Yeah. But when I live here, I am definitely erring on the more side of Korea because this is Korea, and this is actually what I teach. Where you are, you can adapt, and especially if you're living in like a country that I would say my birthplace, then I do want to embrace more of the Koreanness.
Of course.
My Koreanness, right? Starting with the language, but food and all that's easy. Customs, all that I knew that.
Yeah.
But language, sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness, what's that word? And then someone's talking to me, and I'm like. They said one word. I don't know what they're. That
And
one
you can't say it,
vocabulary
you're like,
word.
I have no idea
I
what
wish
that
I had
is.
like my Papa Go, where I'm like, so I'm like, net.
You
Just
gotta
say
net.
if you're if you want to err on the side of safety, just go net.
Nah, the whole
And
time.
then they go, oh net, and I go net.
Like-
And then I'm like, what did I just agree to?
Signing your life away and you're like, nene.
Yeah, net. But
Yeah.
so yeah, that's I want to say both. And so a lot of what I do with my mental health and just my practice is teach others how to embrace their identity.
Right.
Because if your mental health depends on your identity.
100%.
So if you're confused about yourself, think about it. If you're like, who am I? What do I want to call myself? Do I really belong here? Then it's really distressful, actually.
Very
So
true.
I tell people, wherever you are, adapt to that as an adapt to where you have to live. But you can say, hey, I'm in Korea, but I am, you could be like, I'm Chinese, Korean, or I'm Australian, European. I say it is what you claim your identity to be. No one should tell you what you are or who you are.
Right.
And that's how your mental health begins. Otherwise, if someone goes, Jeannie, this is who you are, and that's how I was growing up, everyone's telling me, you're this, you're not Korean enough, you're not American. So I grew up with flat out racism, let's just be honest. So I was sitting there all confused.
Yeah.
But now I'm in my 50s, so I'm able, and I'm teaching others, hey, I definitely see that there's discrimination, but you know what? This is what I'm going to say. Yes, I am Korean American. And when someone called me a conde, I went, yes. I could see myself being that way, not in the old school way. I'm too old school, just more. I'm in that age bracket where I do think in a very Korean way because I want to protect my home country.
Yeah. And your culture.
And my
that
culture.
Is still your culture. What attracted you to mental health? Like, what about mental health?
So, yes, this is my third career. Well, age 50, so it makes sense. But I started off as a journalist. I covered President Clinton. So let's state myself again. In the 90s, when he was president, I was a reporter for the Associated Press. So that's actually the career pattern I was going for. I wanted to be the #1 news anchor in the world. I wanted to be like Connie Chung.
Yeah.
I wanted to be known as a fabulous Asian American anchor. But something got in the way. About 2.5 years in, I'm young, in my mid-20s, and back then you think you know everything.
Period.
Sorry, 20-year-olds. It's not like you don't know everything. It's just that when you think you know everything as a youngin', I thought I knew it all, and I remember thinking, you know what? I had this notion of I'm not doing well. So even back in my 20s, I saw my life, and I didn't look happy. And so even though I was so ambitious, and that was my dream, I pulled out of that field, clearly, because I'm not doing it now.
Yeah.
But do you want to guess what I was experiencing? I wasn't feeling great. I saw my life fast forward, and it looked unhappy. What do you think I was experiencing? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
No,
I'm interviewing you.
Yeah.
It's something that people talk a lot about today.
Fatigue or
Close. Burnout.
Burnout. Okay.
But in the 90s, no one talked about burnout
was not
let
a
alone
thing,
no one talked about mental health in the workplace. But I was progressive back then, going, I'm not going to keep working like this. It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I pulled out of that field at ripe old age of 25 and pivoted and then went to business school. Now, when I tell people, I didn't go to business school because I was passionate about business.
Yeah.
I went to business school because I had nothing. I was like thinking, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. But then I went to business school, finished that. And when I finished, that's when I had kids during that time. I was like, I can't see myself doing this for 30 years. So then I took time off, even with a
Wow.
business degree. I decided, what do I want to do?
Mhm.
What am I passionate about? And you know what came to my head was being a therapist. Yeah. I mean, I woke up at 2 a.m. I'm not trying to be
What?
dramatic, but it
Yeah.
really happened. 2 a.m. I'm like, no babies are crying because this is when I was mom. And I was
Yeah.
like, wait, I am a mom. I mean, when my
I
kids
was
were
a mom.
little, I didn't change being a mom. Okay.
She abandoned
Let me
them
just
kids.
make that
Not a
straight.
mom anymore.
No. But I just went,
Yeah.
wait, I know what I want to do. I want to go back to like apply for graduate school, pivot a
Ooh.
whole new career,
Yeah.
and become a therapist. And that's what I did. And so fast forward 20 years later, this is what I'm doing. But I'm also a corporate
Wow.
speaker. So I
Yeah.
also, talk a lot in the workplaces
Mhm.
using that business sense of mine.
Mhm.
And then I'm a speaker. So it's very comfortable as I was a former journalist. So
Yeah.
that said, I'm kind of pivoting. I'm kind of doing a full circle
Yeah.
what I started out doing, but using mental health as a tool
Mhm.
to help transform lives.
So technically, you're using everything you've learned.
That's
You didn't
right.
really abandon anything.
No, I
technically.
mean, my
Yeah.
parents, no, they didn't say they're proud.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing about grandparents. But I think I'm proud that I somehow found that
Mhm.
because in some sense, I pivoted from something I really wanted to do. But no, now as a therapist, I am helping journalists.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that to me is like full circle moment where
It
I'm like, wait a
is.
second. Journalists are one of the demographics I work with now.
Right.
So yeah.
Wow. The
Yeah.
life experience you've had
Yeah.
is insane.
Hello,
And
I'm 51, even though you think I'm 30.
listen, girl, you look so young. I would not expect. I'm still spinning from having 4 kids. I'm still
Yeah.
spinning from that.